What's up YouTube, it's Heretic here, and today is Thursday, and so we are looking at Vespiquen and friends here, Vespiquen, Zoroark, Zebstrika. Without Battle Compressor, can this deck remain competitive? In my testing, the answer is yes, and so we're going to go ahead and get into this. Of course, Vespiquen, the same as always. Be Revenge for 2 colorless, dealing 20 damage plus 10 more damage for every Pokemon in your discard pile. An attack we've been familiar with since Flareon from Plasma Freeze became a hot commodity to counter Plasma Klinklang. And it's definitely something we've had in the game for a few years now. So just as strong as ever, even without Compressor. So we're going to go into how that works. So we've got some alternative attackers. We've got Zoroark, which has the ability Stand In, allowing you to switch it from your bench up to the active slot once per turn, and then Mind Jack for 2 colorless, dealing 10 damage plus 30 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. With a full bench, even without Skyfield stuff going on, you can hit 160. Great amount of damage, very solid, especially early game. And then, of course, we have Zebstrika, which is our Yveltal EX, and more specifically, Mega Rayquaza counter, with Crashing Bolt, which does 50 damage for 2 colorless, plus if your opponent's active Pokemon has a fighting type resistance, as both Yveltal and Rayquaza do, this attack does 60 more damage, going up to 110. Then take into account that almost every Pokemon that has fighting resistance is also weak to lightning, so you go from a 50 damage attack to a 220 damage attack. And for a double colorless, I'll take it. A little bonus effect here is that damage from the attacks of your lightning Pokemon is not affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. That's the ability Zap Zone. So some interesting stuff there. Zebstrika, really good card, and obviously if either Yveltal EX or more specifically, as I stated, Mega Rayquaza EX does remain popular, then we will most definitely want to have Zebstrika on hand. Now we've got some other counters for the meta here. Got Klefki, which is a big one now. Klefki is one of the more interesting Pokemon to come out of Steam Siege with its Wonderlock ability, which allows you to, once per turn, while this Pokemon is on your bench, you can simply discard all cards attached to it and attach Klefki itself to one of your Pokemon as a Pokemon tool card. And then for this instance, you prevent any damage done to the Pokemon that Klefki is attached to by your opponent's Mega Evolution Pokemon. And then this card, if attached to a Pokemon in this way, is discarded at the end of your opponent's turn. So it gives you a 1-turn Renegade Pulse, in essence, which can protect you from Mega Rayquaza, Mega Mewtwo, all kinds of stuff. But do note that it only prevents damage and not effects of attacks, so specifically in the event of Mega Mewtwo, they can still use damage change on you. So try to keep that in mind. But 4 Klefkis, and even if we're not up against Megas or it's not the time when we need to use it, you can just equip them, they'll be discarded at the end of your opponent's turn, and you'll have more Pokemon in your discard pile, man. Unown can also help us fuel the discard simply by going from the bench, discard itself from the bench, and then you get to draw 1 additional cards, as well as increase Vespiquen's damage output by 10 in the process. So another card very good to have in a deck like this. And then we have 3 Shaymin-EX for our draw support. So after we look at all that, we can go ahead and get into our item cards. We run 1 Escape Rope, something I'm doing in just about every deck right now, even after the rotation. Beneficial against Glaceon if we can't manage to hit Pokemon Ranger for some reason. You can rope it back to the bench and then either Lysander it back out or simply attack something else, as we don't really have much else in terms of Glaceon counters right now. Also just good for the switching effect if you open up with a Klefki, a Shaymin, or an Unown. You don't want to burn a double colorless to get it back to the bench. So it's got a couple of benefits there. Next is 2 Level Ball. I mean, this deck holds an astounding 20 targets to Level Ball, the only non-targets in terms of its Pokemon being the 3 Shaymin, 2 Zoroark, and 2 Zebstrika. Everything else is a Level Ball target. So I really wish I could run 4 of these, but space does not permit. So we're rolling with 2 copies right now, and like I said, this has been testing pretty well. Another Escape Rope or maybe a Switch or a second Floatstone might not hurt, but right now we're rolling okay with this. Next we've got 4 copies of Puzzle of Time. We are a double colorless exclusive attacker with this deck. We run 4 double colorless and nothing else energy-wise, so if it all gets knocked out, we do want to have Puzzle of Time to get it back. I've chosen to run 4 puzzles over any potential copies of Special Charge, But right now it's doing pretty well. A lot of Megas, a lot of EXs in the format, so we can take advantage of that, and then we can puzzle back for more double colorless if we need to later on in the game. Next we have one town map, and a lot of single prize decks like this where you need to consistently attach energy in order to attack. You definitely want to have the town map. We saw this with Night March last format before rotation. We've seen it with Vespiquen Flareon and Expanded, and we'll continue to see it in this Vespiquen variant here. The one town map just almost indispensable as far as being able to flip over your prize cards and take the ones you need, which any deck can benefit, but especially something that does need to continue to attach energy, as your stuff is likely to get knocked out every turn. And then finally, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 VS Seeker. Again, Pokemon Search and Supporter Retrieval, just standard stuff. I've chosen 4 Ultra Ball and only 2 Level Ball due to the ability to hit not only all 27 Pokemon in the deck, but also to discard Pokemon from your hand that you don't need in a given situation to simply fuel Vespiquen's attack by up to 20 more damage, depending on how many Pokemon you discard with the effect of Ultra Ball. And then, of course, VS Seeker is just kind of self-explanatory, allowing us to reuse supporters. We'll get into our supporters. We've got 4 Sycamores to start, because, again, best supporter in the game. Discard Pokemon from your hand, power up Vespiquen. Only 3 N. This is the only deck this week that does not run 4 copies of N, and a deck like this previously would have only run maybe 1 or 2 copies. In a compressor format, only 1 copy. If we go back to before compressor, I still think probably only 2. But since we're not running Trainer's Mail or Acrobike, and we don't have compressor, obviously, 3N, just so we don't stall out early game. We also have the 3rd copy of Shaymin, whereas most of these decks are only running 2 copies. So that kind of balances out for us a little bit. And then our one-of supporters, we have Teammates, just pretty much a must in any Night March or Vespiquen deck. So since we're in Standard, that just leaves Vespiquen. 1 Lysander, which we can again reuse and find via Town Map if we need to. And 1 Hex Maniac, really a big card to get around for Ninja. And then we have 1 Pokemon Ranger because Glaceon, Giratina, and all of that stuff, we don't like to have to be shut down by those things. So finally, 1 Parallel City to mainly knock Shaymins off of our bench, since we're not really worried about losing to Ray. I mean, we could parallel them down and our Vespiquens will still die to Rayquaza, and if we use Zebstrika, we just get 2 prizes for a double colorless, so that's easy enough. 1 Floatstone, you could definitely up the count on, like I said, on either this or the Escape Rope if you wanted to. Could definitely see it because there's some stuff we definitely don't want to start with, such as Klefki, Unown, or Shaymin. Otherwise, just eventually the Floatstone goes onto a Zoroark and it just lets us switch freely. And lastly, 4 double colorless energy to fulfill our attack costs. And so we're going to go ahead and play a couple games. This deck, when it goes off, is just crazy. Sometimes you might have a turn or 2 of slowing early game, but if you can survive that, much like Andrew Mahone's Vespiquen Night March list that I played at States, you guys may have seen that list back in April, but in a similar vein, you know, or like Vespiquen Flareon and Expanded, just you get through the first turn or 2, and once again, you're just kind of rolling on all cylinders then, and being able to use 1 prize attackers is just absolutely a massive advantage. A format that has now become dominated with EX Pokemon and a lot of Mega Evolutions. So we're going to go ahead and get into a game here and see how this thing does. Okay, so we're playing against a dark deck here. Dark colorless, just straight up. Not sure how Lucario fits into that.
Maybe he likes Lucario.
Yeah,
Lucario's pretty cool.
Ugh, yuck. No basics.
Remember when he was revealed, everyone thought he was going to be a legendary Pokemon.
Well, to be fair, Arcanine was supposed to be legendary too. That's why its species is the legendary Pokemon.
He is in my heart.
So we're going to start out with a Zorua there. We got Klefki and Unknown. Might as well just throw him down. That way we won't get him end away. I mean, I'm sure he'll probably have like a Lysander or an Escape Rope or something awkward for us. He starts out with an Eviltal EX. Plays another one, so we got a lot of raw bacon on the board here. See a Bursting Balloon, a double colorless. And this Zorua can get knocked out. I really don't care. Alright, so he's going to pass the turn now. So we're going to get another Unknown. And I'm going to go ahead and play the Shaymin now. Before we puzzle time. Alright. So we get Blitzel. It's good to have in this matchup, I think.
Ballroom Blitzel.
Pretty much. So we're going to go ahead and do this. And what do we want to hit here? I think we want to hit the Ultra Ball. And then we're going to ultimately end up playing that end, so it doesn't really matter. I think we're gonna use one unknown here, and then we're just going to Ultra Ball and then play a supporter. So we can go ahead and drop Vespiquen and the N. And we can just go find an unknown, realistically. It's just going to help fill up our discard pile more quickly. We can VS Seeker to get the N back. And we'll go ahead and play it. Alrighty. So not a bad hand. I mean, we got another N. We got some VS Seekers that we could use if we needed to. We can play this town map. So we got Ranger, Parallel City, VS Seeker, Teammates, Zebstrika, and Zoroark. So nothing too terrible in there. And we can go ahead and take advantage of these unknowns now. We get an Escape Rope. And what else are we going to get? A Vespiquen. Okay, that doesn't really help us too much. Go ahead and Wonderlock our Blitzel, although I don't think it really means much right now.
You're hugging.
And we'll do an Escape Rope here as well. We'll force a switch, bring our Shaymin up, because I don't think he's going to knock it out just yet. And we'll just pass the turn, let the Bursting Balloon go away. And we'll play it from there. So we see a Zoroark on his bench now, and he's opting for the other one with Whiny Voice. We've got the Moonless Madness Zoroark over here.
Captain Turbot would be proud.
Yes, he would. The things you think of when you're a parent.
I know. I'm ashamed.
Nah, no reason to be. You know you're a parent when you start talking with your spouse about Paw Patrol pup is your favorite.
Rocky.
Rubble on the double.
Oh my god, world.
Not really.
We are.
Okay, so he's gonna Ultra Ball away an Eco Arm and a Zoroark Break. Go for a Shaymin. We're gonna see a 4-card setup here. Alright, so there's a Floatstone on the Zoroark. We'll see a Wally, so he's gonna go right to Zoroark here. And let's see. Stand in.
For what?
Well, he already Wallied, so he doesn't have a Lysander available. So we're just going to see a 70 damage Mind Jack here. Klefki will be discarded. And we can Level Ball now. If we get a Zoroark going, we'll do 100 damage, which, you know, would be enough for a knockout. But for now, Floatstone over there. We'll Level Ball here. Oh, what do we want?
A Combi.
Combi seems good.
I like Combi.
Yeah, I think I am going to go that route. And it stinks to have to end him when he's only got a 4-card hand, but we don't really have much else in terms of options, so we'll go ahead and play it. And looks like we're still not getting an attacker this turn, which really does suck, because we're going to end up giving up 2 prizes in the process. But that's really about all we can do, so we'll do this puzzle of time here. And what do we want off the top of the deck here? Is there anything? I guess we could take that. And we'll leave these 2 for post Sycamore. Or post N, I guess, if we shuffle, because we would get him down to 4 cards then.
It would be sad to lose so many Quins.
Ew. Oh, he's going to retreat now. Okay. He's going to go straight into the evil zone. Oh, God. Dangerous energy. You know what? Screw the English name. It's a bad energy. Because that's the Japanese name for those of you guys who don't know. That card was called Bad Energy when it was originally translated. Which is what it is. It's a bad energy. I mean, they had the right nail on the head. But they didn't want us to think that, so that's why they changed. So we're going to whiff on our Zoroark and end up giving up 2 prizes because of it. Go ahead and put another Combi down. I'm just going to end him again. Drop his hand size back down to 4.
Should have evolved first.
Oh yeah, I should have.
But
that would have been a good idea. But we drew,
back.
yeah. We drew okay in terms of getting our Vespiquen. So we'll go ahead and put that into play. I guess we'll probably end up putting... We got our Zoroark, too.
Deuce.
So, hey, look at that.
You're welcome.
Okay, so... Let's see, we don't have a colorless over here, but we do have teammates. I'm going to put Zoroark into play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't have a knockout, though. That's the problem. Because we needed Zebstrika.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did. Alright, so we're just going to retreat into the Combi that just saw play this turn. Put another Klefki down. And we'll just Wonderlock again. We'll Wonderlock our Vespiquen this time. So again, it's not like it really matters. And just pass the turn. No point in even attaching right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be all the way down to 3 prizes now. So we got to make sure we don't put another Shaymin on the board.
There's no shame in that.
Right now we'd be hitting 130 with Zoroark. And we're going to take a Y Cyclone here. And let's see which energy he chooses to move. Probably the double colorless. Yep. So that's going to go back to the Zorua on his bench. We're going to yield a 3rd prize. And let's see, what are we at now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And no reason to Wonderlock if we can just discard the... we can just discard the Klefki. So we'll do that. Okay, we do get the Ultra Ball, so we can go grab the other Zebstrika now. Which is a bit of a relief. So we can discard these two. Go pull the second Zebstrika from the deck. And then we can also go pull the other Blitzel.
Too cute.
Put that down. Evolve into Zebstrika. This thing's got 100 HP. Alright, you know, I kind of wish it had 110, but it's whatever. So we can switch to that and just do a crashing bolt here. Now we'll take 20 from the bad energy. Actually, I don't know that we would. No, we won't because we're not an EX. That's right. It really is a bad energy. So we're going to take the Strika and the teammates off the prizes. So, of course, Zoroark is going to come out instead of Yveltal due to it actually having energy and not getting one-shotted by Zebstrika. But we have Lysander, so we're pretty well off in that regard. Because we see a double colorless go on to Yveltal. Excuse me, piece of raw bacon. I'd at least want to cook the bacon a little bit. I mean, pork fat rules, but come on. So, unfortunately, he is going to end us. Kind of had to expect that was coming. We got the teammates back. I mean, at least we got something. So we see a Zoroark break. Alright, so that's gonna Mind Jack for 100. So Zebstrika is gonna hit the hay. And we're only doing 100 damage with Zoroark, but I believe we're doing, let's see, oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we're doing 170. And we could also, we could teammates for 2 puzzles here and try to escape rope, but I think we would just get this other Zoroark thrown at us if we did that. Mm-hmm. So we can go ahead and evolve into Zebstrika here. And we'll attach to Vespiquen. And we'll go ahead and play the teammates. So we can go find, let's see, what do we want? Do we want a VS Seeker maybe in 1 puzzle of time? Might not be a bad option for... Oh, we can also get the double colorless for next turn. That might be a good thing to have.
Lysander might be nice for next turn, but then he'd kind of wall after that.
Yeah, see, we could look at the prizes here. Do we just get a Seeker off the prizes? I don't think anything else in here is really going to help us too much. We'll do that. And then we retreat into Vespiquen. And we can just be revenge here for the knockout. Take the Versus Seeker. And so now the Yveltal is really the only thing that can knock us out at the moment. A Dark Energy could potentially create a knockout if a couple more Pokemon hit the discard with Zoroark Break, because he could copy Be Revenge here. But right now, only 70 damage being dealt by Mind Jack. So not enough for a knockout, and that's pretty big when you figure that we could easily take out that Yveltal next turn. So limiting the bench size is definitely coming in handy here, and we don't know if he's got anything else or if that end of 3 really, if that did some damage to him last turn.
Really debating something.
Yeah, he's definitely taking his time here.
Or, you know, having a tantrum right now, but...
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We do see the Versus here, so we're going to get end again, so that's what he was thinking about, I guess, is... But, you know, when you have 2 attackers left, I really don't see why not. But we do hit the Sycamore, so we're still going to be able to do something here, hopefully. As long as we don't whiff the double colorless. We do take a 70 damage Mind Jack, which is not enough to knock us out. So that can play a relatively decent role here. And we're just going to throw all of these things away. We don't need any of them. So we'll go ahead and draw. And we do hit Puzzle of Time. So we can knock out this Zoroark here.
And have a cozy Lysander for next turn.
Yes, we can.
Not
so
that you need a
we're going to
Lysander
go
for
ahead
next
and
turn.
do this double puzzle anyway, because we can get another energy on the board right now. So we'll grab that, and I guess it's really tough to kind of figure what else we want to take here. I'm thinking the option is to grab the escape rope, just in case another non-EX were to come onto the board and come into the active spot. We can also Ultra Ball away a Hex Maniac and a Combee here. Try to thin everything out. We'll grab the Zoroark to thin the deck. And then we can just go energy on Zebstrika. And we'll do another Bee Revenge here. 210 damage. Wow. Craziness. And we'll take the Zorua. And so that would put us... That ties up the prize race, but he's got 2 Pokemon EX on his board, whereas we do not have any. So, unless he's got some kind of hidden sniping attack, he's got Ultra Ball for a Shaymin here and set up for 6. But unless he's got some kind of crazy sniping attack that we don't know about, this game should be ours. Both of these attackers are capable of knocking that Yveltal right down. Low start and all, this looks like it will be successful. And so he can go for the Lysander here. He can... But I mean, our one non-attacker's got a Float Stone, so if he wants to knock this one... Oh, okay, I see what he's doing here. So he's gonna try to have the Bursting Balloon knock us out and cause a tie. Or something close to it, but we're just gonna Lysander right around it, so... You know, that's not really a problem. We've got the rope, we've got the Lysander, we pretty much have what we need. Just bring that up and good game. So we end up with a massive attack to end the game, 230 damage. So despite the slow start, the prize race there, the prize advantage of having single prize attackers all game comes up big. And so we are able to take down Yveltal EX and Zoroark with our first game. And so we're going to go ahead and do another one and see if we can't keep this Stage 1 deck rolling for the time that it exists until Karen saves the format by putting the fork in this thing. Oh. The Lesage brothers. Zach. I mean, it's Zach Lesage's account, it looks like, but I don't know if it's him or if it's Jay. Alright, so we're going to take the first turn. Canadian players are actually really good. They're really cool. Let's see if it's Zach or Jay. It's Jay, okay. What's up? Okay, so we're unfortunately starting with not only a Shaymin, but a really bad hand. Oh man, this is just gross. Okay, so he starts with a Bunnelby, so I don't really know what we're looking at right now. I'm gonna put this Klefki down, and I don't really know. Yeah, I mean, I think we're in cry territory right now. I really don't know what we're supposed to do here. This hand is really bad. Oh man. Of course, we go against a super good opponent. Guy who was #1 seed going into top 8 at Canadian Nationals this past summer. Crazy stuff. So, let's see. He's going to play a Silent Lab down, and he's going to Ultra Ball away Mega Turbo and a Pokemon Ranger. And we'll see what his Mega Evolution of choice is here. Groudon! Alright. Interesting stuff. I like it. So, we're going to see energy go on to Bunnelby here, and going to burrow us. You know, maybe fuel our discard pile with some Pokemon. Yep, that's what he's going to do. So, that one was a level ball. We could have used that. And, okay, a Klefki. Alright, the Klefki's at least acceptable. I kind of wish he would have burrowed a supporter out, I'm not going to lie.
Maybe.
What are the odds he swings at us?
Low.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm willing to take a chance on this Sky Return here. And, you know, if we get donked out, we get donked out. You know, that happens. He didn't play a supporter last turn. He had Ranger. Okay, so he's going to end us. Alright, so, okay, I'll take a fresh hand.
Mercy.
I mean, we would have had setup next turn for not very much, but we could have used it off the benefit of our Parallel City that we were sitting on. But instead, we see 2 Wobbuffets come down. So this is a very traditional Groudon style build here. So he's going to rope a Wobbuffet up to the active. So he's got kind of a double layered ability lock going on here. And then we see an Ass Vest come onto his Groudon. Okay, well we hit an end, so that's good. Just testing. Oh, he's showing his dad. Oh, okay. Cool beans. That's what's up. Alright, so we're going to put... Let's see. Unown doesn't really do anything for us when our abilities are being... Like, if we could get this rid of the stadium, it would. Because we could still use Unown under Wob. But I think we're just going to try to go for the Zoro here. And... I don't really know what else. I mean, I guess we'll put the Unown down. It's not really helping. But go ahead and unfortunately he gets a hand off of this, which I don't appreciate, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that guy down as well. And I think we're just, oh geez, we don't even get our abilities to stand in. Yikes, that's bad. Double colorless the Combi then in that case. Gotta find that one of Floatstone we play. We see another Groudon. Now, with the Assault Vest, when this thing goes Primal, we are going to have... It's going to be 280, so we're going to have to hit 140 damage with Vespiquen. So 12 Pokemon in our discard pile. So he's going to go ahead and Primal. So we draw into the Vespiquen. We won't need to do anything crazy there. And we can Ultra Ball here and go find the Zoroark. So we'll play that down, and I think we're just going to end him again. That's about all we can do at the moment. Okay, so there's the Floatstone. So we can make some stuff happen with the Floatstone here. Particularly with Zoroark in this instance, since we only have 2 Pokemon in the discard right now. So we'll go ahead and Town Map. Not really too much fancy stuff over there. Double colorless is nice. So we'll go ahead and attach that. We'll Floatstone onto Klefki. And we can do a Mind Jack here for knockout. So that'll get us another double colorless energy out of the prizes. So I guess if you, worst case, if you were to Lysander up the Unown, we'd be able to pay the retreat cost. Not exactly an appealing option, but something that we could do if we needed to. Much more appealing option here would be to Lysander up that Groudon once we get the chance to and pick it off. But right now we're not doing enough for that. Could bring it up and hit it for 80 damage after weakness.
Yeah.
Still be doing more with the Zoroark. So he's gonna go, yep, he's gonna go get the Lysander for the Unown. If we could Lysander the Bunnelby and then maybe Parallel City. Okay, we're not bringing the Groudon up, he just primaled that one. The other one's got 3 energy, and of course now we hit the escape rope. So, we're not knocking out the Wobbuffet. We're going to have to do something here, so let's bring up this thing. Or we can at least get another KO and claim a Combi off the prizes. Yeah, we'll do that.
You have abilities again.
No, I don't.
Oh.
Zoroark does, but he's about to get his... Well, I mean, I will when he does Gaia Volcano. He's going to take the Vespi out, though.
So much ouch.
240.
Ow.
Yeah, that happens. Alright, so... I mean, I guess we're going to bring the floating Klefki up for now. We'll be able to get some stuff off our board here. I'll start with the Unown. Get that thing out of here. I don't want to be looking at that right now. Alright, so we get another Combi, and that's actually a big deal. Can put 2 Combis down. What do we do now? The escape rope doesn't even work. Okay. So we're going to just retreat into Zoroark. We can go ahead and do a couple of Wonder Locks. And we're going to lock up... I think... Oh, man. Do we want to lock up the Zoroark here? Or do we want to lock up the other... I think I want to lock up the Zoroark here. And... See, we locked up this Combi. So... Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and do the 70 damage, I think. Which is going to be 30 damage because rip Assault Vest.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to have 6, 7... We're going to have a minimum of 7 in the discard pile next turn. I still don't know if we'll be able to do enough. Puzzles of Time are going to have to start coming into play here. So there's another Skyla. So maybe he just goes for a Stadium. I actually don't know what happens if he Silent Labs here. If we lose the Wonderlock or not. Instead he's going to go grab a Puzzle of Time. So he may have probably already had one in hand if that's the case. So we're going to see a double puzzle here, and he can get the Silent Lab back and pretty much whatever else he wants. I mean, well, he can get whatever else he wants back. So we'll see what he chooses to go with here. We're still going to have 1 Klefki left in the deck. Okay, so he gets the Prof Letter, which pretty good choice, I think. Being able to start slowly powering up that second Groudon, and he'll be able to take advantage of any Mega Turbos he draws into here as well. Again, I don't know the ruling on Silent Lab versus Klefki. I suppose we'll find out here real quickly.
I mean, it says to treat it.
Okay, so it just okay. He ended his turn, so I guess it doesn't really do anything, but it will prevent us from locking him up next turn. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so we can go to 8, which would be 100, so we'll be hitting for 200, 160. That's not quite enough. We're going to go ahead and evolve anyway. Throw the energy on there. And then we're just going to see, because maybe we hit an Ultra Ball or something that can give us, yeah, alright. So we can do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and get 10 in the discard pile, so it'd be 120, 240... 240 would be 200. So we need, if we do a double Ultra Ball chain here, we can actually knock him out. Go grab something we don't really care about, and then we'll go and do a second draw here. Okay. And in this instance, I think we are actually going to try to take advantage of... Alright. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 130, 260, 220. Yeah, and he's got 30 damage on him already, so we should be able to finish him off now. We are going to unfortunately lose that energy. But that's an okay cost to pay, I think, when we get to knock him out. And we can grab Puzzle of Time and another Ultra Ball off the prizes there. And so that's a big knockout, obviously. It gets his main attacker off the board. And sadly, we don't still have that escape rope in hand. But we're going to see a Sycamore. So he discards a Center Lady. See anything else interesting in here? Oh, Shrine of Memories, I guess, is nifty. And he hits us with an enhanced hammer. Yikes.
Mean.
Ouch. So we've only got one double colorless left in the deck. We do have plenty of Puzzles of Time left over, though. So let's see. We can go Ultra Ball these two since we're ability locked. You know, just like we have been pretty much all game. We can go find another Vespiquen, I think, is probably the right decision here. Now, obviously, this is a little slower than the deck was when it ran entirely off of Battle Compressors, but nonetheless, I think we'll just go ahead and Sycamore here. We've still got 3 puzzles in the deck, so we can still make plays with it, although apparently not with this hand. So we're just going to pass the turn. And of course, if all else fails, we can just one-shot the Groudon when it comes up eventually, as having 2 bees in play will do that. So there's the 3rd energy. If he Mega Turbos, he can get up to the 4th, but I don't know how much it does. Alright, so... Ugh. You can't puzzle the time into that escape rope to save our lives. Ugh. It's gross. Although I suppose if we were to hit double puzzle off a Sycamore here, we would win. So, let's just go ahead and throw it. Alrighty. There we go. So we should be able to pull the rope and double colorless. I mean, we already hit one of our double colorless anyway, and then we can force a switch. And good game, Zach, or sorry, Jay. Good game, man. I really appreciate that. It was awesome. And boom goes the dynamite. So there you kind of see still, even without Battle Compressor, just the crazy power that Vespiquen has. And it might start off a little slower, you know. Running 27 Pokemon in your deck, that's a lot. It's, you know, you're going to get cluttery hands early on, but if you can survive a turn or two, the advantage you get from only having 1 prize attackers, you know, and you're only really Shaymins outside of that, is just absolutely phenomenal. And what Klefki can do also in a format that looks to be full of Mega Evolutions is absolutely fantastic. Being able to protect your Pokemon for a full turn, as we were able to do on the 1 turn we weren't ability locked this game. So a lot of neat things you can do, of course, with this deck. And so that's Vespiquen, Zoroark, Zebstrika, and so enjoy it until Karen comes out, then just rip. The entire thing is just in the toilet after that. But anyway, that's what I got for you guys right now, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers.